Hello students, peace be upon all of you. As you can see in the title of the video, in this video we will cover comparing fractions with like and unlike denominators. Well, we know how a fraction looks like. Let's try a simple fraction. Let's say 3 out of 4. Okay? We know that the number in the bottom, it's called the what? It's called the denominator. Denominator. And we know the number in the top is called what? It's called the numerator. Okay? Denominator, let's say if we always talk about circles, let's say it's always the number of slices in a circle. Number of slices in a circle. The total amount of slices, the total number of slices is always the denominator. It's always the number in the bottom here. Number in the top, the numerator, it's always the number that is either shaded or unshaded. Okay? So let's say we have a circle, and that circle has 8 slices. 8 slices. Okay? So we know that the total amount is 8. So that's the denominator. The total amount of slices is 8. That's the denominator. The numerator can be the shaded or unshaded. So let's say I want to find the fraction of the shaded part. So this is 2 slices out of 8 slices. So the fraction of the shaded is 2 out of 8. How about the fraction of the unshaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be 6 out of 8. So again, 8, or the number in the bottom, the denominator, is always the total amount of slices. The total amount of slices. Because remember, a fraction is part of 1. It's part of a whole. It's always less than 1. We're not going to talk about improper fractions right now. Okay, we're just talking about simple fractions. Simple fractions, they are always what? They are always less than 1. So they are always less than a whole. Okay? How about if no slices were shaded at all? If no slices were shaded at all, and we want to find the amount of unshaded slices. Well, there is no slices shaded, and there is 8 unshaded. So the whole circle is unshaded. So it's 8 out of 8, which is equal to 1. That one is called a whole. It's called a whole. Okay? So again, denominator is always the total amount of slices, the total amount of things that are broken, or the strips that are broken, depending on what shape you're looking at. The numerator is you're always trying to find either the shaded amount or the unshaded amount. Okay? Depending on what you're trying to look at. Depending on the question. If he asks you for the shaded, you look for the amount of shaded, you put it on the top, and you put the total amount on the bottom. If you're looking for the unshaded, you do the same. You find the number of unshaded, you put it on the top, and the denominator is always the total amount of slices. The denominator is always the total amount of slices. Okay? Remember that. Numerator, it's either the shaded or the unshaded. Let's say we brought pizza. That pizza has, let's say, 6 slices. Okay? I ate 2 slices. That means if you want to, let's say you want to find the fraction of the slices I ate. That means it's going to be 2 out of 6 because I ate 2 and there's 6 total slices. How, if you want to find the fraction of the slices that are left. So if I ate 2, how much are left? 4 slices are left. So the fraction of the slices that are left is 4 out of 6. Does that make sense? So numerator depends on what you're looking at. Denominator is always the total amount of slices. Okay? Now we understand what a fraction is. How do we compare the fraction? Now, how do we compare a fraction? Fractions are types. You got 2 fractions that may be like, and 2 fractions that are unlike. When I say like denominators, what do we mean? We mean that the number in the bottom on both fractions is the same. So let's say 3 out of 8 and 7 out of 8. We're trying to compare it. Comparing means we're trying to either find if this is bigger than this, if this is bigger than that, or if they're both equal to each other. Well, the denominator is the same. In this case, it's very easy. All we have to do is look at the numerator. Which one is bigger, 7 or 3? 7 is obviously bigger, so we just put the sign like that, meaning that 7 out of 8 is bigger than 3 out of 8. Does that make sense? Now, have more example of the like denominators. How about if we say 6 out of 10 and 3 out of 10? Oh, the denominators are the same. Which number is bigger? 6 is bigger than 3, obviously, so this fraction is bigger than this fraction. How about if we say 3 out of 4 and 3 out of 4? Well, the denominators are still the same. This number is equal to that number, obviously, so we put an equal sign. Okay, guys? Now, this case is only when the what? When the denominators are equal on both fractions. How about if the denominators are not equal? They're unlike. What are we going to do? Let's look at it. How about if we know that this is 3 out of 4 and this is 1 out of 2? How do we know? Now, are the denominators the same? No, this has a denominator of 2 and this has a denominator of 4. How do we know which fraction is bigger than the other? How do we know if they are equal to each other or not? Well, what we can easily do is a simple trick. But in order for you to do that trick, you must be able to what? You must be able to multiply very well. You must have your multiplication table memorized. So if you haven't memorized your multiplication table, make sure you review that or work hard on memorizing that. Now, what we simply do is take this denominator and multiply it here by this numerator. So 3 times 2, and take this here and multiply by this numerator. Take this denominator here and multiply by this numerator here. So 1 times 4. Well, the 3 times 2 is a 6. The 1 times 4 is a 4. Which one is bigger? It's the 6. So we know this fraction is bigger than this fraction. That is it. That's all we have to do. It's simple as that. We can draw slices. We can draw a circle. There's total amount of 4 slices. Shade 3. Sure. We can draw a circle here. There's total amount of 2 slices. Shade 1. Of course, this looks bigger than this. But why do we have to draw things? Why do we have to make life complicated? All we have to do is just do this simple trick. You're going to take this right here, this denominator, multiply it here, and take this denominator, multiply it by this numerator. Whatever the number that is bigger, whichever number is bigger, is the bigger fraction. Now let's have 2 more examples. Let's say we have 5 over 8, and we have, let's say 6 over 7. How do we know which fraction is bigger than the other, or they are equal or not? Again, same trick. We're going to take the 7, multiply it here by the 5. We're going to take the 8, multiply it here by the 6. Alright, 5 times 7 is what? It's 35. Okay. 6 times 8 is 48. Oh, well. 48 is bigger than 35, so this fraction is obviously bigger than this fraction. Simple as that. Quickly do it. Let's have one more example. Say we have a 3, or let's say 2 out of 3. No, not 2 out of 3. Let's say you have a 7 out of 11, and if you have a 6 out of 7. 6 out of 7. Okay. Which fraction is bigger than the other, or how do we find out if which fraction is bigger than the other, or they are equal? Well, let's take this, multiply it here, and take this, multiply it here, and find out. This is a 7. We multiply it here by the 7. We get a 49. We circle that to make sure we can clearly see it. 11 here times the 6. We got 66. Well, 49 and 66. Which fraction is bigger? Obviously that. There you go. Let's have one last example. How about if we have, let's say, we have a 6 out of 8, and then a 3 out of 4. How do we find out if this is bigger than this, or this is bigger than that, or if they are equal to each other or not? How do we find this out? Well, we do the same thing. This times the 4. This times the 8. So we take that, we multiply it here. We take that, we multiply it here. 6 times 4 is 24. We circle that to see it clearly. If you have a scratch paper, do that on scratch paper, then mark it in your worksheet, okay? You have 3 times 8. That's a 24. A 24 and a 24. Wow! These two numbers are equal, so we put an equal sign. These two fractions are equal to each other. Simple process, guys. If the denominators are the same, it's easy. We just look which if let's say we have 3 out of 8 and we have 5 out of 8. The denominators are the same. So all we have to do is look at which numerator is bigger. This numerator is bigger than this. So this fraction is bigger than this fraction. But when the denominator is not the same, again, we take this, we multiply it here. We take this, we multiply it here. We find out which one is bigger. And that will determine which fraction is bigger. We find out which number is bigger. And then that will determine if which fraction is bigger. And if the two numbers are equal, then the two fractions are equal. I hope you guys found this helpful. If anything is still unclear, please go back to that bar that was unclear, and or just replay the video. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next video. Thanks.